A new era of protectionism threatens global commerce as unprecedented tariffs trigger economic uncertainty. Evening viewers, reporting from Manhattan. We find ourselves 78 days into President Trump's second term, facing an unparalleled trade confrontation. As of midnight tonight, the United States will impose a staggering 104% tax on Chinese imports, a decision that has sent financial markets tumbling as investors grapple with the potential standstill between the world's largest economic powers. The consensus among economists spans the political spectrum. This move spells trouble. Conservative commentators who twice supported Trump's election are expressing profound alarm over the potential dismantling of free trade principles and damage to America's economic foundation. Even Elon Musk, widely considered an unofficial presidential advisor, is reportedly making private appeals to reverse these tariff policies while publicly engaging in heated exchanges with Peter Navarro, the administration's trade strategist behind these measures. Musk didn't mince words, comparing Navarro's intelligence unfavorably to construction materials. Throughout this unfolding situation, many commentators appear desperate to uncover some rational foundation to these policies. MAGA supporters and some mainstream media outlets have constructed a more idealized interpretation of the president's strategy, suggesting he aims to recreate the post-World War II economic boom that brought prosperity to many Americans, particularly those without college education. That era featured robust manufacturing, union employment with good wages and benefits, affordable housing, and upward mobility, a period many across political divides reminisce about fondly. But this charitable interpretation fundamentally misreads the president's actual intentions, which he has repeatedly articulated. The country reached its wealthiest point during the 1890s through tariffs. Consider William McKinley, a president who championed tariff policies. In McKinley's eloquent words, "I am a tariff man standing on a tariff platform." From 1789 until 1913, America thrived as a tariff-centered nation, achieving unprecedented proportional wealth. Then in 1913, for inexplicable reasons, they established income taxation, shifting the financial burden of government from foreign nations to citizens. The president's vision doesn't target the prosperous mid-20th century, it explicitly seeks to return to the pre-1913 McKinley era. He's consistently communicated this throughout his campaign and when announcing these new tariffs. His motivation appears equally transparent. This $6 trillion tax increase on imports, costs largely absorbed by working and middle-class Americans, aims to generate revenue that could potentially facilitate dramatic income tax reductions or elimination, primarily benefiting the wealthiest citizens. Economists broadly dismiss this approach as mathematically flawed and regressive. The period Trump idealizes, the Gilded Age, featured widespread tuberculosis, overcrowded tenements, inadequate public services, poor sanitation, severe industrial pollution, and extreme wealth concentration. This wasn't an era of broad prosperity, but one where billionaire industrialists dominated society. They built impressive mansions in Newport, but average Americans struggled significantly. When discussing potential manufacturing revival, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick offered a confused vision. Trillions in factory construction represent substantial GDP growth. These massive facilities take years to establish. They'll be automated operations. The critical question is who builds and operates these factories? Great American workers. The manufacturing expertise of America will maintain these operations. This contradictory perspective simultaneously suggests both widespread manual labor opportunities and extensive automation, with Americans primarily maintaining robotic systems rather than performing production work. The only immediate check on these policies appears to be Congress, which shows signs of bipartisan concern. During today's hearing, senators from both parties questioned Trump's trade representative about the consequences. Who bears the cost of these steep tariffs? In the short and medium term, consumers will pay. I'm concerned about inflation and potential market closures for American agricultural producers if a trade war escalates. I share concerns from colleagues across the aisle about small businesses potentially facing bankruptcy from these measures. Senator Thom Tillis from North Carolina, facing re-election in a competitive state, has joined 6 other Republican senators supporting bipartisan legislation requiring congressional approval for presidential tariff implementation. This bill, sponsored by Republican Senator Chuck Grassley and Democratic Senator Maria Canwell, would establish a 60-day expiration for presidential tariff orders unless Congress votes for their continuation.